life from the long arm of the law. Lawman is putting into my running, and I'm so far from my home. Oh, mama, I can hear you a-crying, you're so scared and all alone. Hangman is coming down from the gallows, and I don't have very long.
Okay, and welcome back to the 412 Exchange. My name's Joe, and I'm your host for the day. I know we've pretty much, I think everybody's had their fill of the Super Bowl now, and all the hype that was not between two teams that was basically a very boring field goal kicking Super Bowl. So, we're going to move on to the next sport up for the new year, and that would be baseball. So it's February 9th, and if you're a Pirates fan, you may have a little bit of tension today. I'm a very big fan of Andrew McCutcheon's, have always been, will always be. But with him still sitting on the free agency market, I guess you have to take a look at the consensus number one, which the Pirates over the years now have had, I don't know how many consensus number ones. But we do have a 19-year-old Konnor Griffin looking like he's ready to kick the door down at PNC Park. Now, you know as well as I do, the comparisons in this city, they fly left and right. Cutch and Konnor are no different. It's starting to feel less like hype and more like maybe a timeline. You know, Cutch, he's 39. He was once also a teenage phenom. He made his Double-A debut with the Altoona Curve in 2006 at 19 years and 10 months. And we thought that was fast. But Konnor, he reached Altoona the past August in just 19 years and 3 months and 26 days. Beating Cutch's record by 7 months. So, in that vein, let's do a little reflecting and let's talk about this Konnor Griffin guy. The kid was the 9th overall pick in 2024, and in just one professional season, he didn't just climb 3 levels. He demolished them. We're talking about a .333 batting average, 21 home runs, and a staggering 65 stolen bases. He's the first 2060 teenager we've seen in a long, long time, I can tell you that. Some of the analysts are calling him Fernando Tatis Jr. meets Bobby Witt Jr., which would be great for the Buccos. But what does this mean for Cutch? Andrew's currently a free agent for the 2026 season, and he hasn't not been quiet about it. He's voiced his frustrations on social media and about not being invited to Pirate Fest, and signaled that he is ready to play, even in the outfield, if that's what it takes to stay in Pittsburgh. I guess the reality is the Pirates are at a crossroads. McCutcheon is the heart of the team, but Griffin is the engine of the next decade. We're hoping. There's a serious chatter that Konnor could break camp as the opening day shortstop. And if he does, and he wins the National League Rookie of the Year, the Pirates actually get a bonus draft pick. So let's take a listen and hear what Konnor has to say about his winning of the MILB Player of the Year.
And we are excited to announce that Baseball America's 2025 Minor League Player of the Year is Pirates shortstop / center fielder Konnor Griffin. I want to just kind of highlight a couple of things here that stand out about Konnor Griffin this year. Konnor Griffin hit .333. That is the highest batting average in full season minor leagues by a teenager since Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit .382 back in 2018. Konnor Griffin also played shortstop most of the year, 88 games, I believe, 7 errors. There was only 3 teenage shortstops, 75 more games this year, who had 10 or fewer errors. Konnor Griffin was one of those. And by the way, doing it while making some sensational catches, some plays that you just want to, watch over and over and over. And on top of that, no drafted teenager had ever had a 20-40 season, 20 homers, 40 steals in the minor leagues, ever. This year, Konnor Griffin hit 21 homers while stealing 65 bases. Put it all together. And Konnor Griffin, congratulations, you are Baseball America's 2025 Minor League Player of the Year. Congrats on the season. And just what has the last year been like for you? At this time last year, you're just coming out of the draft, and here you are, you're in Double-A, and just coming off of a thrilling playoff series.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year, but I'm super thankful for the Pirates for taking a chance on me last year's draft, and it's been a heck of a year. I learned so much about myself. I really feel like I grew as a baseball player, and now I'm back home and get to get into the off season, take some time off, and get ready to keep going next year.
Hey, Connor, Jeff Ponce, got the opportunity to obviously meet you or, chat with you a little bit last week out in Altoona. Great series that you had there. Unfortunately, you guys came up a little short against a very talented Erie team, but I think you hit 600 during the series, so can't be too angry about the performance. But we talked a little bit when we chatted about, just sort of the adjustments you had to make in high and low A, and then, getting up to high, getting up to Double-A. Your numbers in your line in comparison to your peers actually improved at each level. So talk to me a little bit about making those adjustments and dealing with some of that adversity.
Yeah, I just think experience is, the most important thing. As the season went on, I felt like I continued to stack up good days and, become the hitter and defensive player that I became. And there was always something, a different challenge every day that I was trying to overcome. But the main thing is just making sure I show up ready to win, ready to compete every day, and try to find some way to grow as a player. But there was always something, and with the hitting side, just making sure to be consistent. That was my biggest thing. Continue to show up and be consistent, be who I am every day. And then defensively, at shortstop, it was kind of big mentally for me, just making sure I'm focused every single pitch and just giving it my all every time I'm out there. So just try to be the same player at every level and continue to do what I did.
Connor, we kind of like to pour over swings, look at all that. But one thing that jumped out to me probably the most looking at your swing from high school to now is just how physically different you are. How much has that kind of been a big part of your, adjustment to pro ball? So like physically, it looks like you really kind of have filled out over the past, 12 to 16 months.
Yeah, I think when I got drafted, I was right around like 210 pounds, and now I'm up to about 225. That's what I got to going into spring training. So I think that was a huge jump for me. I started swinging a 33 and a half, a little bigger bat than I was in high school. I started being able to use my legs more, just being in the ground, and then I always had the power, but it's just being consistent with the power, and that's what eventually came from that. And it was a great off season last year. I trained really hard, made sure I was eating well, and I wanted to get to spring training at 225, and that's what I did. And I think I benefited from it really good.
Let's dig in a little deeper because you talked about this with me last week as well. Working with your dad in the off season on your swing and cleaning up some things. What sort of stuff did you guys focus on and clean up?
Yeah, we focused a lot on the lower half, making sure I'm staying on my backside and not jumping out of it. Didn't want to make 95 feel like 100 every time I'm in the box. So plus it helped me see the ball a little better, have more time, and then just really focusing on direction. In high school, I think we talked about this, that I was arm barring a little bit, made sure to try to be a little shorter to the ball, and then just maintain a good direction, and it really worked out for me. So I'm going to continue to hammer down those things. I'm super thankful for my dad who's helped me get to where I'm at, and we're going to continue to work this off season and try to continue to get better.
So you mentioned about spring training. That kind of felt like that was a big moment for you as far as like the Pirates fans and all. The anticipation started building because you got to play a lot in big league games in spring training. How important though was that for you also? You got to make some plays. You got to get kind of that feel of what big league spring training is like. Did that kind of really kind of springboard you into the season?
Yeah, I think that was the biggest part of my season was spring training. Not even playing in the games, just being every day with the big league staff, the veterans, and just trying to figure out how to become a pro. And it was really easy sitting there watching guys like Paul Skeens and Andrew McCutcheon, just watching how they go about their day. And I learned a lot at big league camp and get into the games and play a little bit in front of the fans. It was awesome. Got to kind of make a name for myself, and then I continued on to my season, and I think it really prepared me for my first year was being a big league camp. So it was a great experience for me.
Now in spring training, you did a lot of playing in center field, and then obviously as the season went along, you played much more at short. Struggled a little bit. Got to play both though. Still played both. One of the things that stood out to me about you at shortstop, which maybe it's because of center field. I don't know if it's wide receiver background. I don't know if you have that in your background or what, but your tracking of balls over your head at shortstop. A lot of guys, they kind of that's a tough one for them. That seemed to be something that you almost like embraced, was seeing that pop fly that was going to end up in short center or in short left field. Is that kind of like, where did that come from?
Yeah, I think it came from me being an outfielder first. I've always loved outfield. I can say that outfield definitely comes more natural to me. But being a short, I just want to make plays, and so when those kind of in between balls are right behind me, I feel like I'm a center fielder again. I go back and try to track them down. But I think it's cool. It's really cool how outfield and infield kind of work together. I feel like they stuck me at short most of the year just because kept my footwork sharp, and if I needed to go into the outfield, I could. But I think in spring training they really didn't know whether I was going to play center field or shortstop. They were just giving me reps at both spots, and then when the season started, they said, "Hey, let's take it short, and we'll let you play some center field if you want." But I spent most of the year short, and I loved it. I feel like I became a really decent shortstop, and I feel like I grew a lot at that position, and just not just the fundamentals, but just the mental side, where to be on certain plays, things like that, things that I didn't really think about when I was in high school. I just kind of tried to be an athlete and go play, but I really learned a lot, especially starting in spring training.
So that was Konnor Griffin talking about his winning of the minor league player of the year for MLB. I think we're all excited to have Konnor step up to the plate, shall we say, and give it a good whack this year for us, along with Paul, who is a generational player, and we all know that. We're just hoping we can keep him. So, if you get a chance, like and subscribe to my channel if you can. It'll help me out. It'll help get it out to more people. And that's really about it for today. I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to listen to me and hear what we have to say. Till then, be safe. God bless.
So let mercy come and wash us.